Hey, I'm Scott.
And I'm Melissa.
And this is the Walsh Fam Podcast. Welcome back to the Walsh Fam Podcast. It's the place where two people talk about life with you people. I'm Scott Walsh, and as always, I am joined by my wife, the incredible Melissa Walsh.
I think you've used that before.
I have. No, I had this idea that I was going to swap it out every week, but
Yeah.
I'm not that creative.
You can't think of
And
more than...
I never think of it in advance, so it's always right in the moment, and my brain just goes incredible.
I'll take incredible.
Well,
if
I've
that's the first thing that comes to mind when you think about me, then I'll take it.
I've done fantastic a few times as well, but
Yeah.
yeah. I think they're both accurate, so
Oh, wow.
I'd say that's good.
Oh, shucks.
Well, we got a good episode for today. Melissa, we are coming up quickly on our 5th wedding anniversary.
Yeah.
So today we are diving into 5 lessons we have learned over our 5 years of marriage.
Yes. I feel like people who are older than us and have been married longer are going to be like, oh, these darn kids, they don't know anything yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Everything comes in stages. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we aren't experts by any means. We're just talking about our situation. And if that's something you can relate with and take something from, then awesome. And if not, then you're welcome to watch anyways. I'd recommend it. But yeah, we're not forcing anyone down anyone's throats. We're just talking about our own situation.
Anyway, let's talk about the candle. Today's candle of the day is a Glade. I said Glad earlier, and Scott corrected me.
Yeah, she was practicing before we started. And
I say the candle wrong.
I have it written out, Glade, and she said
the Glade
Glad.
Rose and Bloom.
Yeah,
candle.
Rose and Bloom.
Yes, it's like a light pink. It has 3 wicks, and we're going to be sampling it for you today.
Of course, as always, we'll be rating it at the end of the episode, so stick around for that. You're going to want to hear our thoughts on the Glade Rose and Bloom candle. Oh, while you're doing that, Melissa, I just got to say, I'm a little bit tired. How do you feel?
I'm exhausted.
Man, we have
friend.
had a couple of very intense and very full weekends. Of,
like nonstop for the last few weeks.
Yeah.
I'm scared. This match is like catching on fire. The candle's not lighting and I'm starting to panic. Oh my gosh, it's getting so close to my fingers. Help! Okay, everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Okay, one of our more intense candle lighting so far. Wow, I didn't see anything that dramatic coming up this episode, but wow. Did you move where this light was?
I swapped it because I need to be close to my matches in my boot.
I just now noticed.
Surprise.
Okay, I'm not mad at that. That's fine.
Anyway, yes, I am exhausted. I feel like I'm always exhausted these days, but specifically over the last few weeks, we have been going.
Yeah, this, man, talking about this weekend, just last night we were at the St. Louis City soccer game.
So much fun. You should definitely go.
Or I should say football for those of yours who are maybe out of the country.
Yeah, it was a different experience. We're used to going to baseball games here in St. Louis, going to the Cardinals games. It is different vibes at the soccer game.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, more intense
I would
almost.
say slightly more high energy,
Yeah.
definitely louder, but very cool atmosphere.
Yeah, fun fact, you're not supposed to sit. Even though you pay for a seat, you're not
Yeah.
supposed to sit.
I know that was not your favorite aspect of it.
We were just coming off so many other things, and I wasn't expecting it. It
Uh-huh.
really caught me off guard.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can sit is just frowned upon, and nobody else is doing it, that bothered me a little.
And if you do, you're just not going to be able to see very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, why did they put seats in then? You know? I don't know.
I
Silly.
don't know. I couldn't answer that.
Being in the studio is a little funny because we just had to convert it back from a bedroom.
Yes.
We had our niece's sleepover last weekend.
Yeah.
And this was one of their bedrooms for the night.
Yeah. Mind you, there's no bed, but they're young, so
No.
they can sleep on the floor. So
She brought a sleeping bag. She was good.
Yeah. So, I mean, while we're piling on this weekend too, last night was a soccer game. The night before that, man, we were out with our life group from church and
Yes.
we were at Amp Up Action Park.
Yes, where all the other 10-year-olds were hanging out.
I think most of them were at least 12 or 13, but
It was super fun.
Oh yeah, they have go-karts, they had laser tag, they have like ropes courses and things like that. So, man, and then afterwards we went out for Mexican food at like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
so.
because we didn't really plan on doing that. But it was super fun.
All that to say that we are just kind of running on empty right now because we've had a couple busy weekends back to back, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't complain about that. I mean, it sounds like we're complaining about it a little bit now, but it's all good stuff. So.
No, to clarify, we're complaining about being tired, not about doing all the things that we did.
Absolutely not. No, it's been a blast.
Yeah, it has been. And this is going to be a fun episode too.
Absolutely. I'm excited about this one for sure. So 5 years of marriage. Our anniversary is not till August, so we've got some time left, but we're well into year 5. So we're breaking down year by year each of our years of marriage and talking about kind of our key takeaway we would say we've had from each year as we've gone on.
I'm curious if other couples who've also been married around the same amount of time or even just 1 or 2 years, like if they feel like they learned similar things in that year of marriage.
For sure.
So,
that'd be interesting to see if it's a common experience.
Yeah. So if you're a friend of ours, you'll have to let us know.
Get in the comments if you're listening on Spotify. If you're listening, we have a Q&A section below where it'll ask what you think of the episode. So if you're listening there, pop in, let us know if you're married, if you can relate to some of these things, or if you've got different takeaways. And if you're on YouTube, obviously you can go down into the comments and let us know there. We want to hear from you.
Or maybe you guys are just perfect and you never had to learn any lessons in marriage.
Can't relate to that. No, these are all things we've learned the hard way. So if we can impart any wisdom on you from our experiences, please take it and run with it.
Yeah.
Okay, shall we begin?
Yes.
So year 1, man, it's so weird to think that far back, but year 1, I would say we had our key takeaway as marriage is not a finish line.
Yes. So we dated for 4 years before we got married.
Yes.
About 4 years.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think when we got married, when we got engaged, maybe we thought like, that's all we were thinking about, right? Is getting married, actually having the wedding. And then you get married and you're like, okay, so what now? Yeah. It's weird because I feel like for me, marriage, there are so many things that I thought like, once we're married, like we'll figure that out. Yeah.
Like, because before then we weren't living together and then we are. So I was like, there were so many things that I just had this idea that once we were officially married, that it's like, that'll work itself out. But I think very quickly I learned, and like to go along with, it's not a finish line. Like whoever you were and whatever problems you had, like before you went on your honeymoon, you come back with those same exact problems. Like, and then you're just there. Like there's still work to be done.
Yep. You get back you have the wedding. That's so fun. You spent all the time planning the wedding. You go on the honeymoon and life is just easy because you don't have to do anything real and
honeymoon.
normal. That was so fun. And then you come back and you have to like move in. We moved into our apartment and we settled and we had to decorate, but we had to care about what the other person thought.
Yeah.
And if you like the curtain pattern or if I like the curtain pattern, and usually it was just one of us to like the curtain pattern.
Yeah.
Or just things, like just little things, and you just kind of like nitpick at each other a little bit, and it's also new and fresh. And
yeah. When we were dating, we've had like our fair share of arguments. Most of them, heavy majority of them, are very small, stupid things.
Silly
we
stuff.
bicker about things. We're both very opinionated people. We
like to be right.
have very specific ways we like doing things. So we can get nitpicky sometimes. And when you're married, it's just amplified because now you're making every decision together. You're living together. You're with each other 24/7.
Your actions affect the other person.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So just, man, looking back on our first year, there were so many, like, it was great. We had a great first year of marriage, and but it was testing at times.
Yeah.
Like
we had some big milestones in our first year of marriage too.
Like what?
Maybe not milestones, but like during our first year of marriage, COVID happened. And the whole world shut down. And we had a 1-bedroom apartment. It was the smallest thing.
Talk about amplifying problems. Yeah, I mean, when we're stuck within like 400 square feet with each other all day, every day, I was furloughed from work. So
we had one couch that had 2 seats.
Yeah.
To have 2 or 3. Whatever it wasn't enough.
I mean, we're only 2 people. How many seats do we need? But
when
there
you can't go anywhere.
There were times when it felt very small in that apartment. Yeah.
Yep. We went through the process of buying a house.
Yeah, that's true.
During our first year of marriage, we were like, well, this apartment is way too small now that we've spent so much time in it, unintended together. We're like, get us out of here.
Yeah.
So we bought a house. I don't know. It was a lot. There was a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, I want to like put a silver lining on that,
Yeah.
would you say that now, having been a few more years down the line, that getting through that first year, like, does it get better?
Yeah, definitely. I think
Okay.
every year gets better. I like you more every year that we're together
Yeah.
too, you know?
I feel the same. I just wanted to make sure you were on the same page. But yeah, I would say, like, yeah, marriage is not a finish line. You go through your dating life and it's great. You kind of are learning each other. And then marriage is this like big life event that sometimes it can feel, or you can have this idea in your head that it's like this magical thing. But after you're married, you're still the same exact people. Like, there's still work to be done. We still have a lot of work to do on our relationship, and we still do. But
No.
yeah, we're perfect in every way.
Just wait till we get to year 5.
What do we have? Oh, yeah. No, I mean, yeah, year 1 was interesting. It was turbulent at times with the pandemic and things like that. We had some
changes.
stressors. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, just the one thing I would say from that year that, looking back on it, just caught me is just like, there's still work to be done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Your whole that's really the beginning of everything, and we had it so backwards.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we had it backwards, but I just don't think we thought about, what would happen after marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
think marriage isn't the finish line. I think that's a really good way to sum it up. Good lesson. Good lessons learned. Okay, year 2. Mm-hmm. We kind of chatted about it, and I think the best way to sum up year 2 is we were reminded of this many times. We're on the same team because just so many arguments over nothing, or maybe it was over something, but we're just working against each other rather than working towards goals together. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's hard to put into words exactly where that sentiment comes from. But year 2 was another big one. We bought our house and we moved in. We both switched jobs again.
Yep.
We got a dog.
Oh boy.
So yeah, being new homeowners, I think, plays a big part in it, because that brings a whole nother parade of things that you have to kind of deal with. And if you're not dealing with them together, then you're on the wrong page, like it's not going well.
Well, yeah, and we both do like to be right, and we both like to have our way. And so if we can kind of just realize too that, like, when we are angry at each other, usually we're not mad at each other. Like, it's usually just we don't understand, or like we're just working against each other for no reason.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm articulating that well, but
Well, I tell you what we talked about too, and I'm remembering now, is getting a dog.
Yeah.
When you talk about like stressors in a marriage, now all the people with kids are gonna, hate on us now because it's like, they're complaining about having a puppy. It's nothing like having a baby.
Wait.
Yeah, we understand having a puppy is not the same thing as having a human child. But when we got our dog, like, man, there was weeks where it was every night in the night, is peeing in the house. You got to take him outside in the middle of the night. We're losing sleep, like all of this stuff.
When you get a dog and it's a puppy, you have to take it out I don't remember if it's every 1 or every 3 hours.
Yeah.
But even through the night. And we didn't know that. We were just kids. Young 20-year-olds, but we felt like kids.
Yeah, and then we were both, having to go back and forth of who would, take off work or come home on their lunch break and do this and that to let them out. It's goodness gracious. Yeah, so it was a lot. And I found that definitely elevated our stress levels.
Definitely.
And that was definitely one of the areas where we had to come together as a team.
Yeah. For the goal of Winston.
Yeah, all for the benefit of Winston.
He was a handful. He was.
I think in terms of like the broad spectrum of dogs, he was very good. Like, he learned so quickly.
Yeah.
But
he's
still,
just goofy.
Yeah, he's goofy.
He's stubborn. He's very stubborn.
And like, I totally forgotten of like the level of rage in my head when I come home and realize that he has chewed up something.
Yeah.
Like, there was a time where we let him just roam the house while we were at work.
We thought, it'll just get better. Like, he'll just get used to being out.
We thought he was mature
cage your
enough.
dogs.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, we lost a lot of carpet. We lost like a couch. We lost some drywall, like all of our stair railings and banisters, like
literal holes in our walls because we trusted a dog to be free in our
He's
home.
a menace.
We were foolish to let him out. And we realized later down the road that he loves being in his kennel. He'll just go there now. So if you're struggling with that, put your dog in a box and it's okay.
We've shifted our lesson from be on the same team to like tips for raising a puppy. But
yeah,
I mean, it all goes back to it. I don't know.
It does. We had to be on the same team for that.
Yeah. I think, there was just a lot of things over our second year in that just like, if we didn't get on the same page, it just wasn't going to work out. Like, it's so much more difficult to do things when you're at odds with each other or when you're not on the same page. Mm-hmm. And so all of those things like being new homeowners and all the stress that comes with that, and being new dog owners and all the stress that comes with that. If you can get on the same page and work as a team, it makes all of that so much easier and more stress-free.
Absolutely. I feel like even now, so that was year 2 that we really learned that, and now we're in year 5. We'll be in the middle of an argument. We'll be like, dude, we're on the same team. Like, we need to like reevaluate this situation. And it's been really helpful for us.
Yeah. It's weird how you can lose sight of that because you get so caught up in your own ways of thinking about things and doing things that we'll be having an argument about something stupid. And at some point it's just like, what are we doing? Like,
we're just trying to be right.
I know.
Even if we're so wrong,
we're both
we will
stubborn
commit
like that.
to being wrong.
Yeah. But being on the same team, for sure, super important.
Yeah, and then year 3 was like the biggest life-changing one. Like, I think it just impacted our life in such a positive way. It's just that, like, don't do life alone.
Year 3, don't do life alone. Yeah.
And not that we did life alone. Like, we had family, we had some friends, but we definitely, like, I don't know, we weren't really part of a community anywhere.
Yeah. The importance of community, another way to put that, I think, because this was the year that we really got established in our church and with specifically our life group.
Yeah.
And man, for those not kind of in that fold, they probably get sick of us talking about it all the time.
Yeah.
But our group there has been so fantastic for us over the years of just having that sense of community to rely on.
Yeah. Absolutely. And specifically for marriage, like most of the couples in our life group are married couples that about the same age as us. And so being able to even just like talk about real things that are going on within our marriages, and like people will say something and you're like, oh, I'm not alone in feeling that. It's just nice. It's like, oh, we're not crazy.
Yeah. We spent the first, and this probably started in year 2, I would say. I think by year 2 because we were moved into our house. So we were already starting to go to church and that. We spent the first probably year and a half of our marriage being, we need to get to church. We tried a few here and there, but we weren't consistent.
No, we weren't locked in anywhere.
Yeah. I think year 2 is probably when we found our new church and started introducing.
Going, but we weren't even really like plugged in.
Yeah. Year 3 was when we really got plugged in. And then once we were in our new group, just the relationships just grew and developed and got so much deeper. So
it's really like filled our life. Like, definitely. I mean, schedule wise, yes, we're very busy these days.
Yeah.
Just fill our schedule or volunteer to do things or, different hangouts or whatever.
Yeah. Well, you just heard, we were talking before we jumped into here about the past weekend or two and what we've been up to. And last night we were at the soccer game with a couple from our life group. Yep. And the night before we were at doing the go-karting and that with our entire life group. So they've just become the people that we do life with, and I don't think we could overstate how influential that's been on our marriage.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like it's hard to feel lonely when you're just surrounded by good people that are in the same stage of life as you.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You were saying this earlier, but even just to have those people who are kind of dealing with the same things you're dealing with, just to, even if you don't talk about it, just to hear that other people are dealing with these sorts of things and have people who can relate to your situations, and that is just so massive. It's been incredible.
Yeah. It's been great.
Yeah.
That's my favorite one. Well, maybe not my favorite, but it was a good one.
What, your favorite year or your favorite tip?
Favorite year lesson.
Yeah. Oh, it's huge. I mean, we talk about it all the time. I mean, the night and day difference from where we were in our first year or two of marriage, before we had committed to a church, before we had found like a really like tight core group of friends, versus where we're at now, where we've been in this group and all of those relationships have developed. It is night and day. It's crazy. So yeah, year 3, yeah, we really learned, don't do life alone. Like, it's so much better to do life together with other people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That brings us to year 4.
Year 4, which would have wrapped up last August.
Yep.
Okay, so year 4. We sum this up as life doesn't happen on your schedule.
Ha!
Yeah, so, man, this is an interesting one.
This is one we probably don't really want to talk about, but I think it's time to talk about it a little more.
Yeah, this podcast is an interesting new thing for us that we've been doing for, I guess, a couple months now, 2 months since the start of the year. And we really want it to be a space where we can be open and share things. So I know a lot of the time, and it will continue to be this way, but a lot of time we are just jokey and fun, and that's all good. But it's also a space where we want to be able to talk about real life stuff. Man, you want to intro this, Melissa?
No, I don't.
So life does not happen on your schedule. I want to talk very generally, but I don't know that's...
Just go for it, Scott.
We had ideas for our life. Why are you laughing at me?
Because of how much you're like wiggling around the thing that you want to say.
It's fine.
I know that you just want to say it right. And I appreciate that.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah, this is so weird. Let me just jump to the point. Year 4, life doesn't happen on your schedule. Year 4 was the year that we kind of we realized this point because we had an idea of how our life was going to go timing wise, specifically in one area, which is
a family,
kids, having kids and starting a family. We had for some time felt ready to start that part of our life.
Yeah.
And it was after quite some time that we kind of found out that it wasn't going to go how we thought it was going to go.
Yeah.
Man, this is tough. This is weird.
We tried for a couple of years to have kids, and we realized through many doctor's appointments and just different things that we weren't going to be able to do that how we thought we would. So
yeah. And that was tough. It's really difficult to have an idea of how your life's going to play out, and then to find out that it's not going to be that way.
Yeah, you just kind of think of it your whole life, and really you don't have to think about it. When you don't know that you're going to have problems with infertility, you don't have to think about it or worry about it. And so we just thought, it's just going to happen when it happens, and we'll start trying when we're ready to start trying. It'll probably happen fairly quickly, but years went by and it didn't happen for us. And so finally we decided to start kind of but I still thought everything was okay.
Yeah, there was a lot of naivety.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce that word. There was a lot we didn't know, and we were pretty oblivious and clueless going into it. And once we did start kind of down that road of looking into, we've been trying and it's not happening. Is there something going on? We kind of ran face first into a brick wall of like, yes, there's something going on.
And it's not going to happen on your own.
It's not going to happen on our own.
Yeah.
This is weird. I want to thank you for listening and keeping up with us, because this is probably a little weird to listen to. But we're just trying to be open and
yeah.
It's
not, we don't talk about it a lot especially just with everyone on the internet.
we have talked about it with people we're close to. It's very weird to do it now in this room where there's no one in the room, but at the same time, you kind of know that you don't know who's watching on the other end. But I guess, we want to start a family, and we're looking at IVF now.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at currently. And it was in year 4 that we made that discovery that was really going to be the only way for us to have kids of our own.
Yeah, we'll probably get more into that on later episodes, and, dive a little deeper there. But as far as year 4 of marriage, that was the big. Excuse me. That was the big thing that happened. It was last April, I think, that we started going to appointments and trying to figure it out. And it was a journey. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many doctor's appointments we've been to since then. You know, more than I could count on 2 hands. That's for sure.
Appointments and consultations and testing and
surgeries.
Yeah.
We've been through the ringer on it. And, yeah, we're luckily at a place now where we can talk about it a little more. If you asked me about this 3 months ago, I wouldn't have been able to get the words out that I am saying now. And so I'm very grateful for that.
It's been a tough reality to kind of grapple with, because kind of what I'm talking about with like the obliviousness. You have this idea that, once we're ready, we'll just do it and it'll be time and it'll happen. I think it's very rare that this subject is talked about openly.
Yeah.
So as young couples, at least for us, I didn't really have a grasp of how common this was, or, even all the things associated with it. So when we kind of found out that, wow, that's our situation, it was very shocking and just kind of, I don't know.
Like whom? Us?
Yeah.
Like, you mean Scott and Melissa?
Yeah.
Us? Did you have the right ones? Like,
Right.
I don't know. I don't know.
It didn't feel real for
Yeah.
quite some time. And to get back, I guess, to the main theme we were highlighting here, we had these plans, and this was a complete derailment of those plans. And it took a lot of time to kind of come to be at peace with that.
Yeah.
It was like losing someone,
You're like mourning
it's-
the loss
yeah.
of the life that you thought you were going to have.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah. So there's been a lot of kind of struggle and back and forth with that.
Heartbreak and
Just coming to terms.
Yeah. And I don't even know that we're completely to terms.
Oh no.
I wouldn't say that we're anywhere near the end of our journey.
We're still in that process, both the actual process of seeing what, starting a family exactly is going to look like for us, and the process of being at peace with it. I don't know that it'll ever be 100%, but the encouragement, I guess, that we're trying to get from this to anyone out there is just, whatever plans you have for your life, hold on to them loosely.
And don't put all your stock in that either, because we didn't ever think about like what happens if it doesn't go how we wanted it to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never did, at least.
Yeah. And we don't want to be downers, I feel like this is like a lot of doom and gloom, but this is just a place where we plan to talk about life, and that's a massive part of our life for the past,
especially right now,
year or so. So,
we're, just to give a little light to the situation, we're like in it right now. So we haven't started IVF, but we have had a lot of doctor's appointments about it. We have both had separate surgeries and procedures to, start the preparation for it. And that's definitely the direction that we're heading in. So it's weird that you all know that.
Yeah. Well, now you do.
Welcome to our lives.
I want to say too, I don't know that I've said, but to kind of tack on to the end of that, life doesn't go by your schedule, but there's a plan, and we don't get to see the plan. Yeah. So if there's anything that's helped me kind of take comfort in this kind of 180 and whirlwind that we've been in, it's that, there's a plan for us.
Yeah. And it always happens to be better than the plan that you create for yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's tough to remember that when you're in the middle of it sometimes. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, that kind of brings us to our year 5. So we're in year 5 right now. So I would say the topic for this year, the number one takeaway so far is just to see the good in life. We've been through hard things in the last year, and we've been through I'll just talk for myself. I've been through months where I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to hang out with anyone. I can't focus on anything other than the loss that we feel and, mourning the life that we thought we were going to have. I don't see any good. There is no light. It's all darkness. And you have to get through that. And you have to say, okay, well, this sucks. This does suck. But there's also so much good. Like, we might have to have surgery, but you know what? Our friend brought us a gift basket and they care about us and they prayed with us.
Oh, how many times when we've been doing things along this process have we been like, could you imagine if we were doing this like 4 years ago before we had the friend group and the support group that we had? Like, it's crazy. Yeah. Thinking about our surgeries, people bringing us meals and bringing us, gifts and things like this and just praying for us and making sure, okay, just, seeing the good and everything.
Yes.
I mean,
there's so much good. I mean, whether that's like you're crying getting ready for work, but when I'm driving, the sun is up and it's a beautiful day. It could be something so small.
Oh, that's beautiful. Wow. Do you cry when you get ready for work?
I cry all the time.
Oh no. Yeah, I mean, I've been there.
Waterproof mascara a lot lately.
Yeah. Oh man, what a downer of an episode.
But it is good. Like it is good and it's going to be good. So I really think the focus of See the Good in life, to me at least, is like, even if let me start over. Hang on. The number one thing that people say when you open up to them, I feel like, maybe not number one, but when I open up, like we're struggling with infertility or we have to do IVF and it might work, it might not work. People always say like, oh, it's going to happen for you, or, oh, you're going to be a mother. You're going to get what you want. Like, it's going to happen. But the truth is that it might not. And that has to be okay. Like, there is good in it if it happens, or if it doesn't happen, we're still going to live our life and we've got God to fall back on, and it's still going to be a beautiful life, whether it goes the way we thought it would or the way that it's actually going to go. We don't know, and we don't get to know that, and we just have to live it anyway.
That's so true. I'll say to kind of stay on this subject, but for me personally, when it comes to seeing the good, like, I find myself when I go through tough times or I'm struggling with things, not feeling 100%, my instinct is to pull back.
Yeah.
In every aspect. So like, I don't want to go see our friends. I don't want to go out. I don't want to go to church. I don't want to I'm not going to go order groceries and cook a meal. I'm just going to eat a fast food meal and then just sit at home, and do nothing. But to kind of try to get around that and force yourself to do those things, opens yourself up to the good. Like we would look back on the past year and a half, or however, about year and a half, that we've been kind of dealing with this, or I guess a year.
Under a year,
Okay.
really.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But we would look back on that and say, in general, it's been a really tough time. There's been a lot of bad news and a lot of struggles and a lot of doubts.
Little to no good news.
Well, in that area specifically, yes.
Realm.
But at the same time, we can look back at the same year and see so many incredible experiences and moments and things like that. Even just talking before we jumped into the main topic of the episode, we were talking about the things we've done in the past couple weeks. It's all these moments. I think about when we hung out with our nieces.
Yeah. We had so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just those moments are so incredible. And such a blessing. I think when I get too focused on what's going wrong in this area, it can make me not realize what's going right in this area.
Yeah.
And so to be able to have, kind of zoom out and see everything as a whole and realize that no matter what's happening over here, all of this is happening here, and there's so much to be thankful for.
Yeah.
So this year, I think, just has been really big for that for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Kind of realizing even when something for lack of better word, horrible happens, like you also don't get to stop life. Like as much as I would have loved to like never go to work on a day where I'm really down about where we're at, or not hang out with friends, or not clean our house, or you know, not do the things that we've said we'll do. Like you still have to go on with life. And if anything, it's taught me too, like you have to have grace for people out there who are just, you know, at the grocery store or at the gas station, or, you know, maybe they're at the desk next to you or whatever. Like everybody's going through things, and you just have to keep going. Like you can't stop. That's when things get dark and clouded and so negative. And like, if you can just try to push through it, and like, we're not through it yet, but just, I'm talking day to day, like just get out there, do the things you said you were going to do, and try to look for those little good things that help you pull through it. Like God has put those things there for you to latch onto. So like see them and acknowledge them, and it's going to be so good. And it's helped us a lot.
Yeah. Well, me and Melissa, I am so thankful for going on 5 years of marriage with you.
Ditto.
It's been fantastic.
It's been a lot of fun.
It's been a roller coaster at times, you know, but,
you
know, like we're saying, see the good in everything. And if you look at it from 30,000 feet as a whole, like, how good has it been?
Yeah.
It's been
that's
fantastic.
Been one of my phrases for like the last year, I think, is just zoom out. Like we get so focused on the thing that's happening right in front of us, just like, whoop, like
it's hard to
bird's
look
eye
at
view.
hard to look at the big picture.
Yeah. But when you do, it's like, oh, it's just one thing that didn't go your way, or that didn't go how you thought it would go.
Yeah.
It's all going to be okay. Yeah. I'm thankful we have all that to fall back on.
Well, that was a intense episode.
Different kind of episode. Yeah. But that's okay. We're going to have a little bit of everything on this podcast.
Yep.
Buckle up.
We've been doing a lot of fun, kind of like silly episodes. And now we've flipped on the serious switch a little bit. But yeah, that's what we're doing here. I mean, we're talking about life, and we've got a lot of fun, silly things going on in life, and we've also got a lot of serious things. So there's going to be a little bit of both.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I hope someone out there enjoyed one of those tips. Maybe you can relate, or maybe you have different tips. If you do, let us know. We want to hear from you guys. So
I don't know if they were tips. You don't have to do what we do.
Oh, no, these are not tips.
Just things we personally learned.
Yeah, we're not experts, and we're not providing advice or anything. We're just talking about our life, and maybe someone can relate, you know. So, yeah, not tips. That's a bad word to use.
Not to call you out, but I don't want anyone to say they want to be more like Melissa, because I am not perfect, or like Scott, because I met you before.
Yeah, I would agree. Let's not hope for that, because that would not be great. All right, let's save me from saying things that don't make sense, and let's talk about this candle.
Okay. What do you think, Scotty?
Or let's just sit here and sniff in the air for a couple minutes.
I need to get an accurate reading on this candle. Glad Rose Bloom.
No. Glade.
Oh man, that was not on purpose. Glade.
We talked about it earlier.
Leave me alone. It's been a rough year.
For those who didn't believe the story about Glad in the beginning, there you go.
I have never been the best speller.
Sure.
Or reader.
Sure.
I'll just leave it at that.
That's okay.
The Glad Rose Bloom.
No. Oh, that one was on purpose. Okay.
The Glade Rose Bloom scented candle, 3
Rose
wicks,
and bloom.
beautiful glass, a pale pink color. Oh, I got a little too close. That was really hot. Okay.
Smelled like smoke.
Where did you find this, Scott?
Amazon.
I bet you $1. It could be found linked in our Amazon storefront by the time this episode airs.
If I get around to it. I guess I could. Yeah.
Okay.
Man,
wow.
we really beat around the bush a lot when we get to these. We're not very streamlined.
I just feel like I need more time, because when we're talking in the middle, I'm not necessarily focusing on the scent unless it like really wows me.
Yeah. And then especially in the case of this episode, it was a quick 180 from what we were talking about to now. Let's review a candle.
All is well. Anyway.
I can jump into it because I've got some opinions. I'm not a massive fan.
Okay.
I will say. And I probably could have guessed that. This is a cheap candle.
Like how cheap are we talking?
like $5.
Okay. That's a good price for a candle, though, because you burn it and then it disappears.
Yes.
But as far as candles, like that's pretty lower on the lower end of the things.
Yeah, well, I bought a couple candles from Amazon to kind of backfill our
Yeah.
inventory because we've been running out of candles.
Yes. And if you've gifted us a candle, it's coming. We just had to, fix everything. And
Absolutely.
I actually have, on this side of the room, I have them like lined up and they have sticky notes on who they were from so I don't forget. So you're in line. Just you wait.
Yeah, but from my purchasing experience of this, it strikes me as more of a budget candle because it was definitely the cheapest.
It smells like cleaning products to me.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. So what would you rate it then?
I gotta...
Do you need a whiff?
No, I can smell it fine.
Oh, okay.
It's plenty strong. And it's not,
It is.
it's not bad, but when you're saying about cleaning supplies, I get it.
It smells
It's
like we
almost
just
a
mopped.
little bit chemically.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to give it, let's see, Glade Rose and Bloom. I'll give it a 56.
This is a shocker
Why?
because my rating is lower than yours, 52.
Oh my gosh.
That never happens. I'm
I thought-
very generous and
I
you
thought
are
you were
not.
going to go sub 50 for a little bit there.
52.
Yeah.
I would give it a 52. If I didn't have time to clean and I wanted my house to smell clean, this is the candle I would light.
Yeah.
If I want you to think that I just mopped and disinfected everything.
In terms of candles, yeah, it's not that great.
It's not very homey.
Obviously, it's our lowest score of the year
Yeah.
so far. But if you had no candles and you wanted a candle, it would
It is a candle.
It would fill that role. It's a candle.
Absolutely it
And
is.
it doesn't smell bad. It just
Yeah.
is not the greatest.
By
so
definition, it is a candle. And you could use it as such.
don't always here just giving me the sarcasm, making fun of me. We're on the same team, Melissa.
Yeah. Team bad candle.
Team Bad Candle. Would not recommend this candle. If you want to buy it, you can find it on our Amazon storefront.
A great budget candle.
Wow, we always get so off the rails at
We
the end
do.
of
We
the
get a little
episodes here.
whack at the end. And we
We've
really
never-
should wrap it up.
We've never really established exactly how we wrap this
We
up.
haven't mastered this.
No. So
Should we just turn it off or?
No.
Okay. And see you next time. You got something else to say?
Yeah, follow us on social media. We're
Oh.
at Walsh Fam STL or at Walsh Fam Podcast. Nothing along. This is wild. We
That's
always
my
get
line.
so off the rails at
That's
the
my
end.
line. You just stole my line.
Melissa, where can they find us on social media?
You already said it.
All right, thanks for listening. We'll be here as always every Monday at 4 a.m. Central Time. So if you want to be the first to listen,
Wow. Is
that's
there an
when you can
award?
find new episodes. No, there's no award. I can't even tell who's first, but you can text me.
And we'll send you a half-used subpar candle
Yeah.
for free. Yeah, you'll have to cover shipping. Okay, bye guys.